Welcome to American Council Academia's IELTS Essential Series. We know that preparing for the LTS can feel overwhelming, especially when it's such a key step in your journey to study, work, or live abroad. The IELTS test is designed to assess your English skills in listening, reading, writing, and speaking, and getting a high score can open doors to universities, career opportunities, and new experiences around the world. Here at ACA, we understand how important this milestone is, which is why we've created this video series. Our goal is to break down each section of the LTS and provide practical tips to help you feel confident and well-prepared. So, let's get started on your path to success. The IELTS Listening section has 40 questions across 4 recordings, each with increasing difficulty. The recordings cover a range of settings, from everyday conversations to academic talks. Part 1 is a conversation between 2 people. Part 2 is a monologue, like a guided tour. Part 3 is a conversation in an academic setting. Part 4 is an academic lecture. Part 1 is a conversation between 2 people in a daily life situation, like making travel arrangements or discussing a purchase. This part is usually straightforward and focuses on practical information, so listen closely for specific details like dates, times, or names. In Part 2, you'll hear a monologue, often in a public setting, like someone giving a tour or explaining how to use a service. Pay attention to descriptive details and directions, as these often help answer questions in this part. Part 3 moves into an academic setting with a conversation between 2 or more people, usually students and a professor, discussing a project, course topic, or research. This part may include opinions and more complex ideas, so focus on distinguishing who says what and understanding different viewpoints. Finally, Part 4 is an academic lecture on a specific subject. This is the most challenging part, as it contains advanced vocabulary and detailed information. Listen carefully for the main ideas and supporting details, as these will often be key to answering the questions. Let's review some common question types you'll encounter and tips for approaching each. First, for multiple choice questions, listen for synonyms or related ideas. The recording may use different words to express the same idea, so focus on concepts instead of expecting exact wording. For matching questions, pay attention to descriptions and ideas that sound similar. Try to listen for specific details that distinguish one option from another. And for form completion questions, listen for details like dates, prices, or names. These questions often require filling in precise information, so stay alert for exact terms or numbers. Now let's go over the essential strategies you'll need to answer each question type effectively. First, predicting information. Skim the questions before the recording starts to guess the types of answers to listen for, such as names, numbers, or places. Predicting keeps you alert and focused. Next, focus on keywords. IELTS often uses synonyms, so listen for related words or phrases instead of the exact wording. For example, a question might use the word doctor, while the audio says physician. Another key strategy is handling distractors. Speakers may correct themselves or change details mid-sentence. Don't jump to conclusions. Listen carefully to capture the final answer. Staying engaged is essential. The test moves quickly, so keep your focus by taking light notes or visualizing the scene as you listen. Finally, manage your time. Use the short breaks between sections to scan the next questions. Being prepared helps you stay calm and focused. Now let's go over some common pitfalls to avoid in the listening section. Understanding these mistakes will help you stay on track during the test. First, avoid rushing through questions. Take a moment to understand what each question is asking before the audio starts. If you skim too quickly, you might miss important details like what type of information to listen for. Give yourself a few seconds to fully grasp each question so you're ready to listen for the right answers. If you miss an answer, don't dwell on it. It's easy to get stuck thinking about a question you couldn't answer, but this can distract you from what's coming next. Move on right away. Focus on the current audio so you don't miss more questions. Remember, you won't lose extra points for skipping a question, but missing additional questions will lower your score. And finally, always use context clues to confirm accuracy. IELTS listening recordings are full of clues to help guide you to the correct answer. For instance, if a speaker describes a location as north of the main building, you might find words in the question that suggest direction, such as north or left of. Using these clues will help you avoid common traps and select the best answer. Now that we've covered the essential listening tips, it's time to put your skills to the test. Below, you'll find 4 practice listening sessions, just like what you'll experience on the IELTS test. Listen carefully to each audio clip, then answer the questions that follow. You can write down your answers on a piece of paper or share them in the comments below. Ready? Let's get started. Conversation between 2 people. Listen to the audio and answer the questions at the end. Pause the video if you need more time.
Hi, Sarah. Do you have time to chat?
Sure, I've got a few minutes. What's up?
I wanted to confirm our meeting for tomorrow. Are we still on for 3 p.m.?
Yes, I'll be there. Actually, I was thinking of bringing some snacks. Do you have any dietary preferences?
That's nice of you. I'm good with anything, but maybe something healthy, like fruit or nuts.
Got it. I'll bring a fruit platter. See you tomorrow.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
Questions. What time is the meeting scheduled for? What is the woman planning to bring? What is the man's dietary preference? Now let's go over the answers. The meeting is scheduled for 3 p.m. The woman is planning to bring a fruit platter. The man's dietary preference is for something healthy, like fruit or nuts. Next is a monologue guided tour.
Welcome to the City Museum. My name is John, and I'll be guiding you through today's tour. Let's begin in the main hall, where you'll find a collection of artifacts from ancient civilizations. On your left, you'll see an Egyptian statue, dating back to 1500 BC. This statue is one of the museum's most prized pieces. As we move on, we'll visit the Renaissance art section, where you can admire paintings by some of the greatest artists of the period. Feel free to ask questions as we go along. We'll be here for about an hour, and there will be plenty of time to explore on your own at the end.
Questions. Who is leading the tour? What is displayed in the main hall? How long will the tour last? Great work if you got those right. Let's review the answers. John is leading the tour. The main hall displays artifacts from ancient civilizations, including an Egyptian statue from 1500 BC. The tour will last for about an hour. How did you do? Now a conversation in an academic setting.
Student. Professor, I was wondering if you could give me some feedback on my research proposal.
Professor. Sure, let me have a look. Overall, the topic is solid, but you need to refine your thesis statement. Try to be more specific about your research question.
Student. I see, so you think it's too broad?
Professor. Yes, exactly. Narrowing it down will help you focus on more manageable aspects. Also, I'd suggest reading a few more recent studies on the topic to support your argument.
Questions. What is the student asking feedback on? What does the professor suggest the student should focus on? What additional advice does the professor give about the student's research? Here are the answers. The student is asking for feedback on their research proposal. The professor suggests the student should refine their thesis statement and make the research question more specific. The professor also advises the student to read more recent studies on the topic. Nice job if you answer those correctly. Lastly, an academic lecture.
Today, we're going to explore the concept of sustainability in modern architecture. Sustainability, as you know, refers to designing buildings that have minimal negative impact on the environment. This includes using renewable energy sources, reducing waste, and creating energy-efficient structures. One example of sustainable design is green roofs, which help insulate buildings while reducing stormwater runoff. Another approach is passive solar design, where the building is oriented to maximize natural light and heat from the sun. As we'll discuss in today's lecture, sustainability in architecture not only benefits the environment but can also reduce costs for building owners in the long run.
Questions. What is the main topic of the lecture? Name one example of sustainable design mentioned. How can sustainable design benefit building owners? Here are the answers. The main topic of the lecture is sustainability in modern architecture. One example of sustainable design mentioned is green roofs. Sustainable design can benefit building owners by reducing costs in the long run. Fantastic work if you got those answers right. Well done. We hope these practice sessions gave you a taste of what to expect on the IELTS listening test. Take your time reviewing your answers, and if you'd like to share them with us, leave a comment below. Don't forget to keep practicing and tune in for our next video, where we'll tackle reading skills to boost your score. Thanks for watching, and keep up the great work.